Hi. Welcome to Movies Reflexed. Today, I am going to show you a 2021 horror thriller movie titled Spiral. Watch out for spoilers. Take care. The movie starts while showing a fun fair at a place. There was a huge crowd. All the peoples were enjoying their time there. There was a police officer there. He notices a man fleeing after snatching a girl's purse. The police officer tries to warn him, but he doesn't stop. So, the police starts following him. But that thief goes to a basement of railway lines. That police officer also goes after him. He was searching for him there. Meanwhile, a man with a mask puts a cloth on his face from behind and kidnaps him. When the detective comes to his senses, he finds himself tied in the middle of the railway line. He was on a stool. There was a dangerous machine fixed on his tongue. It was making wounds in his mouth and tongue. It will cut his tongue if he moves. He was really scared that how will he ever save his life and escape from there? Then, the small TV put in front of him plays a video. There was that strange man with the pig mask. He says to him, "You are a bad man. You have given false statements about two people in the court. Now, the time has come for you to get your punishment. The train will come here in a few minutes. And it will blow you up. If you don't want to die like this, then free yourself. But if you move, then your tongue will be cut. And this will be your punishment." Now, that police officer tries a lot. His hands were tied with a mysterious thing that was hurting his hands, and due to it, his hands were bleeding. Somehow, he manages to open his hands. Meanwhile, the train also comes in front of him. He was late. The train blows him away, shattering him into many pieces. His tongue was also hanging in that machine. It gives him a terrifying death. After this incident, the other detectives also arrive here. But they couldn't even recognize who he was, because his body's condition was worst. Here, the scene changes. We see a man named Zeke. He was gang leader. There were many other criminals in his group. They were in a hotel. Zeke was telling his companions that we will have to rob a drug dealer. They start to prepare their weapons. Now, they all go to that drug dealer. After robbing all the money and drugs from him, they were about to move out from there. But before they could come out, the police arrives there. They take them after arresting. Here, a huge secret is revealed to us that the man Zeke, who has robbed the drug dealer and also the leader of the gang, he was actually a detective, and doing these was a part of his mission. He was talking to a local police officer. Detective Zeke says, "I don't trust the local police officers. Who knows how they deal with these cases?" The girl with whom he was talking to, her name is Angie. She says to him, "You should have told them that you are thieving with them." He says, many years ago, his companion had made a mistake. And when he makes his arrest, he was appreciated on this thing. He also got a medal as a reward. But the other police officers started to hate him. They were very jealous of him. Angie says to him that it is not good to work alone. I am sending a co-detective with you. Although he is new. But you two will work together. Zeke aggressively goes back to his table. But there was a rat. It was dead. He becomes very aggressive, and he knew that it is done by the other police officers, as the other police officers were jealous of him. But then, the new detective arrives there. He tells him, "I like you. I am also very impressed by your father. He has done many good things. And if I were to tell you the truth, then I have chosen this profession because of your father. I also want to work like him. And I am proud that I am working with his son." Then, Angie arrives there. He orders them to stop talking. There was an incident that occurred in the railway lines. And it is necessary for you to go there. Right now. They move to that place. Now, on their way, the both detectives talk to each other. The new detective tells him that he has a wife and he loves her very much. And he also has a daughter. He was very happy with his life. Zeke says, "These are just talkings. Just wait for a few years. Then these things will be normal for you. Heck, you will not even like all these." Actually, Zeke was separated. That's why he doesn't believe in these relationships. The new detective feels that there's no heart in Zeke. He talks sadly and rudely. That's why he seemed so rigid and boring. After a while, they arrive at that place where the incident had occurred. There was blood everywhere. Going there, They start investigating. But even they couldn't recognize the body of that man. After it, they go their office from there. There, Zeke receives a parcel. There was a USB inside it. It was written, "Play me." Zeke attaches it to his personal computer. When he opens it, he finds a picture of a spiral in it. And when he clicks on it, a video starts to play. At the start of the video, only the spiral was being shown. Then, someone's voice appears. There was a message that police officer had done wrong. And I will give punishment to everyone who has done wrong. Don't even think that this is the last police officer who is dead. There will be many more. The detective says to Zeke. I think he is Jigsaw. Zeke recognizes the building on which there was that spiral paint. He tells him. We will have to go there immediately. They move towards that building. There. They see one more box. When they open it, there was the tongue of that police officer inside it. His badge was also with it. Seeing it, they come to know that whose body was that found shattered into pieces. They understand that this time, Jigsaw wants to kill the police officers. They tell everything to Angie. Angie says, this is not a good sign. I will handle this case myself. He says to Zeke, I am making you the leader of this case. Because you know how to handle things. The police officer who was killed was a good friend of Zeke. Zeke goes to his house and meets with his wife. He consoles her. Don't worry. Everything will be just fine. Have patience. Now. He asks some questions from that man's wife. But he doesn't get the answer. He asks her, can you please show me his belongings? His ex-wife was also there. But he didn't talk to her and comes back home. His father was already seated there in his house. He asks his son to tell him about this case and who is involved in it. But we see that Zeke is very rude to his father because their relationship was not good. His father wasn't understanding and also wasn't giving him time. Zeke starts to look through the window. Then he remembers that he had solved a case where his co-worker killed a witness, saying that he had attacked me. But Zeke knew the truth. So he made him arrested. They start working on cases about Z's life. He was very sincere to his job. Now the scene changes and we see two police officers. They were checking a CCTV footage. The footage of that police officer who was going behind that thief. One of the police officers starts following that drug dealer. But he doesn't tell Zeke about this. While following, he reaches a dark building. There, he didn't find the drug dealer. But there was a covered thing. When he takes off the cover, there was that mask. There was man who had worn this mask. He was also the same man who had killed the other police officer and starts to call for the other detectives. But no one picks his call. The pig-masked man abducts him. After it, he puts a device on his face. He was in a water tub. He also entraps his fingers. And the trap on his fingers and face were connected with each other. It means if one thing moves, then so will the other. The same video plays in front of him on the TV. There was a pig-masked man in it. Here, the scene changes and we see Zeke. He was calling the new detective. Then from there, Zeke goes to his father's house. But he doesn't find his father anywhere. And then we are shown a flashback that his father had gone somewhere with a gun. And that's why he wasn't at home. The next day, Zeke receives one more parcel. In which there was another USB. When Zeke plays that USB, a doll was shown in it. Its face was resembling a pig mask. Zeke goes to a place with the police. There was that car standing. But when Zeke opens the door of that car, a dead pig comes out of that. Zeke feels very creepy. There, he finds one more box. There were the fingers and badges of that police officer. The officer who was killed in the water tub. This thing seemed very strange to Zeke. He goes to that place where that police officer was seen for the last time. There was the dead body of that police officer and the TV was still on. In the flashback, we see how that police officer was killed. In that video, that with a pig mask said to that police officer, cut your fingers or the current line will be on that water tub and you will die of electric shock. But that police officer also couldn't unlock himself in the given time like that others. And he is killed. Later, his fingers were also cut. Zeke thinks that it is not done by Jigsaw. Because why the hell would he be killing the police officers? Someone is surely taking a revenge on the police officers. We have to find him. The new detective tells Zeke. Do you have any enemy that you suspect? He says. Yes. I have got one of my colleague arrested. Because he had killed a witness. He was released now. He was now in a church. And he was serving the church. Then Zeke asks him. The things I have heard and saw that day. Were they true? Then that man says. Yes. I have done wrong. And I have realized it. I shouldn't have killed that witness. From there, Zeke goes to his father's house. But he doesn't find his father again. He calls and texts his father. But he doesn't get any response. The next day, when Zeke goes to the police station, he observes that the new detective didn't came today. He receives one more box. When he opens it, he finds a pig mask there. The body was also with it. There was a tattoo on its body. There was also some ink. It seemed like blood. There was also a letter. There was written that, when you will be busy saving your people, I will have your boss. Zeke sees that the tattoo on that skin was on the arms of that detective. Then, Zeke comes to know that there is dead body without skin. He becomes worried. On the other side, the word goes insane. That Jigsaw has returned. And he is killing the police officers. But Angie was controlling them. She tells them. There is no Jigsaw. Now, Zeke was driving his car. Meanwhile, he receives some messages. In which, he is told that one more police officer will be killed. Go and save him. On the other side, he receives a message from his father. He tells him to start the investigation in an old case. He understands that these messages are fake. He ignores these messages. Zeke immediately leaves for the police station from there. On the other side, we see Angie at a dark place. The killer was also there. He captures her. He makes her lay on a saw and her body starts bleeding. After it, he covers Angie's face with a cloth. Then, an audio plays on a recorder. It was saying that, Angie, till today, you have fought many cases. It is obvious. There were some criminals and some were innocent in it. Now, those innocent peoples, whom you have sent to jail or had them killed or you couldn't speak for their rights and you couldn't favor them. So, now you will get punishment for this. You have two options. Push your back to the saw. It will cut. And the second option is that the hot wax will be applied to your face. With it, your face will be destroyed. Before it, Angie was given the task to make herself free. But she couldn't. The time was over. And the hot wax starts to fall on her face. And she is killed terribly here. Now, going there, Zeke checks the CCTV footage. He sees that the video of 13 minutes from it has been deleted. It means someone has modified the video. Then, Zeke sees the active accounts of the police officers. He sees that his companion, who he had made arrested because he had killed the witness, his account was active, even though he wasn't a police officer. On the other side, one more police officer arrives there. He tells him that his father's account was also active. Zeke doesn't like this. Because no matter however his father is, he can't listen to anything against his father from anyone. So they start fighting. They start hitting each other. Now, Zeke immediately goes to that man. The man whom he had arrested. He was in the church. But Zeke doesn't find him as he was also missing. Now, we are shown the flashback that where Zeke's father actually was. He was at the place where the killer used to live. There were lots of spiral signs in that building. Zeke's father was walking here and there with the gun. But that killer silently comes behind him and kidnaps him. And he sends a text to Angie from his mobile. Zeke's hands were tied. But he somehow opens his hands. Then, he sees that man who had killed the witness. He was hanged. And there was a machine behind him that was throwing glasses while crushing it to his back. There was a recorder on his back. Zeke listens to the audio from that recorder. It said, "You have taken an innocent life. Now you will also die." Zeke finds the key from which he can make his free. But as he goes to open it, the glasses coming from the machine also hits Zeke. And his companion was also being hit. They feel much pain. After opening him, he sees that he has been hurt with many glasses. Due to it, he loses a lot of blood and he dies here. This means Zeke didn't get any benefit opening him. When he comes outside, he sees that the new detective is in front of him. So, he was still alive. Now. The new detective tells truth to Zeke. He says that the witness whom your companion had killed was my father. I had heard everything and I knew everything. Who killed my father? I have thought then that I will take revenge. But I was quite because of you. I wanted to do with a plane. The new detective tells Zeke. I don't have any family. I lied to you about everything. And the message you received from your father's phone was sent by me. But now, your father is also trapped. I am giving you an offer. Will you team up with me? Zeke unwillingly agrees with him. Now. That new detective becomes innocent here. He calls the police and starts to shoot in the air. He tells the police that there is a firing going on. After it, the new detective gives a gun to Zeke. There was only one bullet inside it. He takes him to the room where his father was imprisoned. He was in a trap. He was hanged there. Now. The new detective tells Zeke. You have only two options. As this gun has one bullet. So. You can either kill me or save your father. And if you saved your father, then I will kill him. And if you kill me, then your father will already be killed by the trap. After thinking a lot, Zeke shoots on the trap. His father was now released from the trap. After it, he immediately runs towards that new detective. He has become a criminal now. He holds him and also beats him. Now. Because of the call of the new detective, the police were already there. They come inside after hearing the sounds of firing. But the door to the room was locked. They begin to cut the door. Now. There was a wire connected with the door, which was also connected to the trap of Zeke's father. Due to the cutting, that wire also cuts and starts stretching. Zeke's father again hangs in the air. On the other side, we see that puppet doll. It pulls its hand up, like it was pointing the gun at someone. With it, a fake gun also comes in Zeke's father's hand, and he points it at the police. He wasn't intending to do it. The police thinks that he is about to shoot us. Without thinking any further, they start to fire at him. And he is killed. Even knowing everything, Zeke couldn't do anything. He screams and cries. Then, we see the criminal or the new detective. He easily escapes from there. None had caught him. He wasn't even suspected. He goes in a lift and gestures Zeke to keep his mouth shut. Zeke was still screaming that he couldn't save his father. With it, the movie ends here. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the upcoming uploads. Thank you for watching.